Melbourne, Australia's sporting capital. Melbourne, heart of the spring racing carnival. Melbourne, home of the Melbourne Cup.
Away in racing, the crowd roars enormously, grooming one of the first horses to jump away with Sunshine Sally and Just a Dancer. Here comes Let's Alape on the outside. Shiva's Revenge is bullocking his way through the pack and then moves. 400 metres left to go, Ivory Way in front, being joined by the stablemates Rashik and Elmerhead. Down the outside, Let's Alape here, superimposed, followed by Castletown, Shiva's Revenge. Let's Alape hit the front of the cup, 300 metres to run. Ivory Way battling back, then superimposed and Shiva's Revenge late. But Let's Alape has burst away and the Foster's Melbourne Cup belongs to the mare. Let's Alape bolts the cup in, wins by 3 lengths, and it's a Cummings Quinella. Shiva's Revenge.
Channel 10 Melbourne and the Spring Racing Carnival are proud to welcome viewers around the nation to Flemington and the running of the 1991 Argyle Diamond Oak Stakes.
Yes, indeed. Welcome again, everyone, to Flemington. I could watch that Melbourne Cup race over and over. It's just terrific to see a champion. But today, of course, is Oaks Day. It's Ladies' Day. The weather, well, there's a bit of a question mark over it. At the moment, it's quite a pleasant afternoon, but we are expecting perhaps a thunderstorm and some showers later. But at the moment, as you can see, 18 degrees, there's plenty of blue sky, a little sort of fluffy cloud, and it really is just a very pleasant afternoon to be at the races. And we hope that that thunderstorm activity can stay away for the entire day. The ladies are here already, looking absolutely superb as usual, as they always do on Oaks Day. So we're all set for another great day's racing. So welcome again to the third day of Channel 10's live and exclusive coverage of the 1991 Melbourne Cup Carnival. Today, Argyle Diamond Oaks Ladies' Day. Before we begin this day's racing, a recap of Tuesday and a jockey's view of the 1991. Yes, the ladies looking just lovely. Well, I can tell you after the pandemonium of Tuesday, the hectic, magnificent day that it is, Melbourne Cup today, today is almost the atmosphere of a country fair. And as I throw down to Peter Donegan.
Out for the first event on the card. In race 1, take out 5 Macquarie Prince and 16 Faversham. Race 2 is clear. The third event and the withdrawals here are number 14 Superland and 22 Jitney, 14 and 22. The Laurent Perrier race 4, take out number 10 Visual Effect and 18 New York, 10 and 18. Race 5, the Argyle Diamond Oaks is clear, as too is the 6th event, the Linlithgow Stakes. The Country Cup race 7, you can take out the emergencies, 19 and 20, Boldo, Pake and Clement. And from the final event on the card, the Maybe Mahal Handicap, the scratchings are number 2 Industrial Diamond and number 15 Valdegrace, leaving a field of 16 to start. There's the scene prior to the running of the first event, which will be run over the hurdles, as we said, and it's over 3,200 metres. They'll be starting at the Melbourne Cup start. They'll jump 13 hurdles in their journey, And as we said, the scratchings 5 and 16. So let's check the tote call now on race number 1 on the card. And here Silver Hall has come up 140, Royal Oak at 220, Centre Boy 715. Fairlane 480, Macquarie Prince out, Superior Way 620, Norwest 26, Mr Sulu in the market at 270, Vulcan Prince round about the $40 mark, Dalmace $11, Triload 25, Uncle Andy 30, Cardenar 14, Bush Asset 30, Megano 66 and Faversham number 16 is out. So there you have the tote call on the first event.
Set and they're off and racing now. One of the first out would have been Mr Zulu from Royal Ochre, and Vulcan Prince Centre Boy was up there. Bush Asset kicking up on the fence from Trilo. Then Uncle Andy as they run up towards the first one. Royal Ochre gets over it in front, the mare. She cleared it by a length and a half to Bush Asset. Wider out on the track was Silver Hall and Fairlane. They were followed by Dalmace as they come to the next one. Uncle Andy's got back in the field. Dalmace going around it from Trilo, Norwest, Superior Way, and Megano towards the tail as they run down the straight the first time. Mr Sulu was last. They come down towards the third obstacle, Royal Ochre and Silver Hall, the two favourites together. They draw to this hurdle together. Silver Hall ran out a little bit at it. They're 4 lengths in front of Fairlane, 3 away then to Centre Boy, followed by Norwest Cardenar. Bush Asset well back, Vulcan Prince, and these leaders are really putting the speed on as they come to the next one. Royal Ochre again out jumps Silver Hall and leads 3/4 of a length. About 4 away third was Fairlane, 6 away Vulcan Prince, 2 lengths further back to Centre Boy over on the inside. About 3 away Cardenar, Norwest, and then Bush Asset. Gee, there must be 40 lengths between first and last. Well back on the field as they go to the straight was Mr Sulu. About 4 lengths behind it was Dalmace on the inside. Then Megano, Superior Way, a half to Trilo, and 2 lengths away Uncle Andy. Well, the speed's very good, 2,000 metres to travel. And Silver Hall sits up on the outside of the mare Royal Ochre. They're out by 4 or 5 lengths to Fairlane. 2 away fourth was Centre Boy, about 4 lengths further back in the field to Norwest. About 12 lengths further back to Cardenar. Then came Megano wide, Mr Sulu, Bush Asset. Superior Way well back in the field. Vulcan Prince is over on the inside of Trilo, and 3 lengths away Uncle Andy. Well, I tell you what, this field is spread out by 40 lengths. They're racing in 2 divisions. Going past the jump of the 1,600 metres point, and they're all on their feet at this stage. Royal Ochre leads a length and a half, but they've gone very hard early, but they're starting to slacken off in front now. Silver Hall was second, Centre Boy third, then Fairlane. 2 lengths further back to Norwest, about 15 lengths to Mr Zulu. Oh, the grey all but fell there, Megano. Superior Way and Vulcan Prince went around it. Then Trilo, 2 lengths to Cardenar, Bush Asset. Megano's dropped out, his race is over. Dalmace went around him as they jumped the next one, and 2 lengths away Uncle Andy at the tail end of the field. About 1,200 metres to go. Royal Ochre leads the neck to Silver Hall. About 3 lengths away Fairlane, and on the inside Centre Boy. 4 lengths away Norwest, 4 to Mr Zulu running on, 4 or 5 to Superior Way, a length and a half to Vulcan Prince, well back Trilo, Dalmace, forget the rest. Running up by the 900 metres point, Silver Hall goes to the front, Royal Ochre stepped over at a half a length behind him. 2.5 lengths away third, Fairlane. 2.5 away fourth was Centre Boy. Running on Mr Sulu, it's come from nearly last, but he is running on and strongly, and well back in the field Norwest, the rest couldn't possibly win. Running up towards the home turn now, and they have about 600 metres to go, and Silver Hall got away from Royal Ochre. Gee, they've gone hard early though. Fairlane's got the setting shot on these leaders, and Mr Zulu's the one that's made up all the ground. 10 lengths away Norwest and Centre Boy. Around the turn, 450 to go, and Silver Hall in front. 2 hurdles to get over, leads a length and a half. Running on strongly, Mr Sulu goes up on the outside of Fairlane as they come to the second last one, then Royal Ochre. Silver Hall gets over it, he's very tired though. Fairlane draws alongside him, a length and a half away third, and battling on was Mr Zulu. They got one to get over. Silver Hall's a half in front of Fairlane. At the last, the top weight Silver Hall just fell over, he's very tired. Fairlane grabbed him, but in turn on the outside, Mr Zulu wears him down. He's come from a long way back, the fast pace has suited him, and Mr Zulu's drawing away at the finish. Wins 2 lengths to Fairlane, a length away Silver Hall. They just went too hard too early. Uncle Andy, what a run it was. It was actually last on the turn run fourth. A break to Bush Asset, Norwest, Trilo, Cardenar, then Royal Ochre, Dalmace, then came Centre Boy, Vulcan Prince, and Superior Way is finished back at the tail. The grey Megano was pulled up in a straight after hitting a hurdle pretty badly along the back. Well, Gary, you were right about Mr. Zulu.
Well, Dan, I thought Frankie Stockdale rode a really good race here. He just sat back, let the others go. I thought Silver Hall was a little bit unlucky at the last fence. He lost any chance he had. He actually stumbled just as he hit the ground over that last fence, but
I think he was very tired.
He really had to weaken. Like, here's the last fence coming up now, and you can see as they get over it, Silver Hall will just not quite clear it properly, and when he lands, he's unbalanced, and that's when Mr. Zulu grabs him.
Yeah, very
You
tight
just see
animal.
here, he goes down a little bit behind.
But Mr. Zulu, gee, he looked the one at about the 1,000-metre point, didn't he?
Well, he had a lovely run coming in here. He is ranging up outside them. They'd gone very hard, and he'd had that lovely cover in the race to come up. But you know, I think Silver Hall was a very good run also. But Mr. Zulu, as I said, he showed a lot of promise as a 2-year-old, and I actually thought he'd be a lot better horse and finish up hurdling.
Well, he might have a future in that caper, though, because that was quite an impressive win. He's obviously a very strong stayer, too.
Well, that's right, and he's only a young horse, so he could go on. He's well-bred horse by Star Way.
Beautifully bred horse, out of Full of Greatness.
There's
Trained by
another
Jim
good shot
Kennedy.
of them coming to this last fence, and you just see Silver Hall just mucks it up a bit.
Zulu 315 and 95, 4 Fairlane 120, 1 Silver Hall 70 cents, Quinella was 16.70, and the trifecta $86.65. Placings were 8, 4 and 1. 8, 4 and 1 with correct weight. Fourth in was number 12, which was Uncle Andy, and fifth in was number 7, Norwest. Tim on the first event, 8, 4 and 1.
Revived Dr. Turf after Fairlane ran a very good race and actually looked like winning it there for a second.
Dalston Party 6.05, Good and Fast 3.20, Baron Samedi 5.10, Cash In 2.85, Daydale, one of the favourites, 2.20, Mr. Tarantell right in the betting at 2.25, At Best 5.15, Tar Heel Boy 5.05 and about $16 for number 9, and that is Eager Prince. So there you have the tote call for the Oaks.
Called Baghdad Note joined the greats on the first Tuesday in November, and he's still enjoying the spoils of victory. Peter Donegan went to Terang in Western Victoria to catch up with the oldest living Melbourne Cup winner and the man who's lovingly looked after him for the past 2 decades.
The first Tuesday in November 1970, Baghdad Note's finest hour.
Baghdad Note in front of Clear Prince, Vansittart coming home, and then Tavel. But it's the New Zealanders' Cup. Baghdad Note wins the Melbourne Cup.
It seems hard to believe that was 21 years ago, but the horse that day that won himself a place in Australian racing history is still alive, and at 26 years old, Baghdad Note is living out the rest of his days at this little place in Terang.
Come on, old fella, come on.
And the man looking after him is 76-year-old Jim Lawrence, a former jockey, trainer and clerk of the course, 2 years of which was in partnership with Baggy, as he calls him. And incredibly, thanks to a few connections, he came by the Cup winner for not 1 red cent.
He told the man that he'd see him every day, like at the race, I say. I was going to use him for clerk of the course. So he said, you better give him to him. He said he'd be looked after properly. Well, that's how I come to get him. Come on, old boy. Come on, old man. We go for a walk, eh?
Baghdad Note is a real celebrity around Terang. Whenever Jim takes his 26-year-old mate for a stroll, people stop to watch, knowing that this sleepy old horse was one day the toast of Australasia.
Must get a photo of him. Yeah. But as I say, there's 2 kiddies, like, oh, it's colossal, the kiddies I've put on him just to walk around the yard here. You know, they've had a ride on the Melbourne Cup winner.
On Monday, the pair made the journey to Melbourne for the annual Parade of Champions. But at 3:30 on Tuesday, when the nation stopped, Baggy was a long way from the scene of his greatest triumph.
Well, he'll have a roll, and I feed him in here, or else in that sand yard if it's wet, because there's a roof over there. Now, Melbourne Cup Day, he'll be here just eating. Yeah.
Sadly, neither enjoys the best of health. Baggy with arthritis and Jim with diabetes. But the old bushy doesn't like to contemplate what'll happen when they're finally parted.
Well, I'm going for all of that when he goes. Get away from everything, sort of, till I can forget about it. What else can I do?
But no matter what, this duo of ghostly white lookalikes will be happy as long as they're together.
Yes, that's the best thing about them, you know. Once they've done their work for you, be it racing or jumping or whatever, they become pets. It's just marvellous to see the old fella. He still looks well too, still looks well. The great old Baghdad Note, Melbourne Cup winner in 1970. Well, of course, is Lady...
White horses, in most cases you see on racetracks, are known as the clerks of the course horses, the unsung heroes of thoroughbred racing, often themselves having been well-known racehorses. Graham Salisbury is a clerk of the course who works at all of the Melbourne meetings. For Graham, it's a full-time job, and he even has his own stable of greys.
Started off actually a hobby. Yes, it's sort of snowballed up into now what you can see.
Salisbury has a complex on the Flemington racetrack. At the moment, he has 3 greys in work: Caesar's Right, Grey Khan and Golden Mariner. 3 horses he has grown very attached to. Graham has an awesome responsibility, which is sometimes overlooked by the public.
Costs a lot of money to get a horse to the races race day now, like thoroughbred, like gallopers in a race, I mean. And owners and trainers don't want these grey horses stepping all over them, stripping them and putting them back in the paddock for 3 or 4 months.
Last Saturday week at Moonee Valley, Graham had the enviable task of leading in the winner of the Cox Plate, Surfers Paradise, to the roar of nearly 30,000 people. Salisbury has a love of great horses. It's a job he takes very seriously. It's also one he's very successful at and admired for.
It's not as if you're going to kindergarten, like there's a lot of dollars involved out there.
There's almost 100,000 people jamming into Flemington, and the nerves of some of the racehorses are put to the test. So you will no doubt see Graham and fellow clerks of the course trying to settle the edginess of some of the horses that you back. Graham intends to stay in this caper for a long time.
Oh, geez, Dan, I hope another probably 10, 12 years, I suppose. I feel as though I could do it that long.
What would your favourite colour be?
Grey, Dan.
That was a really silly question, Dan. Yeah, they look great, and there's been some champs, there's no doubt about that. Baghdad Note, we've already seen, and of course the Mighty Gun Sind and that wonderful mare Emancipation, all great greys. All right, you're watching the Spring Racing Carnival, you're watching Oaks Day, live from Flemington. We'll be back after this break.
Barriers will be of no consequence in this race because they run down to the 1400 metre mark before they actually begin the turn, and with only a field of 9 you can rest assured that every horse will have a position. Well, let's check the totes now on race 2. Dan Miller.
Start here, race number 2. The Ooh La La Stakes, 2,000 metres, light is on. And they're off and racing. Tar Heel Boy was slow to begin, missed it 2 lengths, and Good and Fast was slow out. One of the first to begin would have been Daydale from At Best and Charleston Party White. Cashin goes to 4th, and then Mr. Tarantel. Baron Samedi was 6th, a length away Eager Prince inside Good and Fast, and 2 lengths to Tar Heel Boy. About 1,600 metres left to travel. Daydale in front, but Charleston Party's going to whip around them on the outside, and the top weight leads. Charleston Party a length and a half in front of At Best and Daydale. Mr. Tarantel's 3 wide, not a lot of speed on. Then Good and Fast and Cashin on the inside, a length and a half to Eager Prince. Baron Samedi second last, and a length away Tar Heel Boy, about 8 lengths off the lead. 1,300 metres to travel, and Charleston Party leads a length and a quarter. Second, Mr. Tarantel, a length away At Best, 1.5 to Daydale. 2 lengths away Cashin racing 5th at the moment on the inside. Eager Prince is just behind it with Baron Samedi, and a length and a half away last of all was, as they go along the back, Tar Heel Boy. Mr. Tarantel's gone up a length and a half behind Charleston Party. With 1,000 metres left to go, the top weight leads by 3/4 of a length. Charleston Party in front, second Mr. Tarantel. A length and a half away, then a Daydale third on the outside of At Best. A length and a half to Good and Fast. Then Cashin, 2 lengths away Baron Samedi, which has had a nice run. Eager Prince is under pressure, and Tar Heel Boy goes past it. 700 metres left to travel in the second race, the Ooh La La Stakes, and Mr. Tarantel went up to take a narrow lead from Charleston Party. A length and a half away Daydale to third. Baron Samedi running on strongly with Good and Fast. At Best under pressure, followed by Cashin over on the fence. A couple of lengths to Tar Heel Boy, and Eager Prince has tailed off. At the top of the straight, though, Mr. Tarantel leads by a length to Good and Fast, wearing it down. Then Charleston Party, Baron Samedi running on strongly, and Daydale goes for the run up on the rails. 300 metres to go, Mr. Tarantel, Good and Fast together, running on Daydale up along the fence, and Baron Samedi on the outside, joining in strongly. Baron Samedi went up to hit the front, Daydale getting up on the rails, and then Mr. Tarantel. It's Daydale on the inside, Baron Samedi the outer. Daydale's got a half a length in front near the post. Daydale is hanging on, and he'll win. Daydale by a neck to Baron Samedi, and Good and Fast, then Mr. Tarantel. Charleston Party, Cashin a break in the field to Tar Heel Boy, and At Best, and last of all was Eager Prince. Number 5, Daydale, you'll find is the winner of the Oolala Stakes, ridden by Jim Cassidy.
Well, that was a very good ride of Jimmy's on Daydale, Dan. He saved a lot of ground, he got the run. You'll find Baron Samedi was very unlucky that he looked like winning coming to the 200, but he wanted to lay in, and as I was saying the other day, horses that lay in with you, they're difficult to ride out, and you can see here Michael Clark's ranged up outside them. Just going to go for the horse. He'll be riding him hands and heels, and when he goes to pull the whip, he wants to get in on top of Good and Fast. It's a little bit further on from here. It should come up any minute now. But he'll get in on top of those horses, and he's had to stop riding him, pull off, and Jimmy's been able to go on and win the race.
Good ride by Jim because he went for the rails run. There was enough room for him. It was quite a slogging go. Baron Samedi just starts to get closer to Good and Fast now, Gary.
He's getting in on top of him now, and you'll see Michael will have to stop riding him, pull off. And that's what I say, if you can get on that rail, it's a great advantage to your riding horses out. See, he's having to stop now, and he's put the whip away now. He's got to turn the horse's head out, bring the horse away from those other two horses in between them. They're a bit tight there. And he'll sort of bring the horse away from him again, and it's very difficult then to ride a horse out.
And while all this was happening, Daydale snuck through along the fence, a horse trained by Dr. Jeff Chapman, and the doctor is talking with Peter.
Yes.
Pinkolo Peter has opened up 1:20.85. It's a horse that has had one start for one win from the David Hayes stable, which just keep producing the 2-year-old winners. Perfect Prospect 6.95, 3 Sparky Miss 5.90, 4 Amoret 8.65, 5 Astute Angel 10.05, 6 Atlantic Lover 44.20, 7 Bendrum 26.40, 8 Astelia Princess 23.35, 9 Golden Deed 37.60, 10 Racing Ruler 6.85, 11 Sevi Pill $20.30, 12 Snippety 3.65, 13 Spiritual Self at pretty big odds, and over the page even fairly big odds for Proven Peace, Rose County and Azure Lady, with 90,000 in the win and $56,000 in the place.
Welcome back to Flemington on Oaks Day, live and exclusively through Network 10 and right around the country. A protest is still going on, a series of them in fact, but not against the winner. That is Daydale in the second. The ladies having a simply fantastic day here. It's just beautiful, and we don't think. I've got all the experts telling me, right boys, no rain, no thunderstorms, won't happen, we promise you. Well,
and the win 80 cents a place, 3 Baron Samedi $1.60, and 2 Good and Fast $1.20. Quinella paid $13.20, and the trifecta $149.35. All clear is there now after all the protests.
And 22, there's the map of the course over 1,000 metres. Now it'll be interesting to see whether they go to both sides of the track here. We believe quite possibly they may only stick to the inside. Let's check the latest tote figures now. Here's Dan.
Big field this one, Pete. Chinquillo's a firm favourite though at 125, 705 Perfect Prospect, 560 Sparky Miss, 905 for Amoret, 1110 for Astute Angel. On the second page we'll see that a horse called Snippety as well on the betting, number 12. It's trained by Bart Cummings, having its first start today. 365 Snippety, 10 Racing Rulers at $8.05. Velveteen at 10.20, a daughter of that great horse Rubiton. 6.90 about number 18 Fast Work, and a bit of a tip around on track for it today as well. And big odds for the horses over the page, $40 Proven Peace, 30 Rose County, 21 Azure Lady, and number 22 is Scratch with $144,000 in the win pool. A lot of horses in this race, the Beckspear Stakes, and plenty of them having their first start. You got any whispers for us, Peter?
Well, we'll find out in just a moment when we talk to Dr. Turf, Dan, but let's take a look.
It's Driver in front. It's Driver coming away now from Yankee. Light Fingers is there on the outside, followed by Midlander. Driver in front. Light Fingers is in flying, squaring it down. Driver, Light Fingers. Light Fingers, Driver. Driver, Light Fingers. They hit the line. A dead heat between Driver and Light Fingers.
that was another Myer Fashion in Time.